you are literally not getting the benefits that science has embedded within the forests around you, embedded within the gardens around you, embedded with just even getting outside and getting some sunshine in your eyes. Like, active lifestyle encourages you to go out into the elements, which is critical for our species.
At the end of the day, I think that all of you out there watching or listening, you're here to get better, otherwise you'd leave. So sit down with your partner and say, hey, let's get our S together. Like, this is not okay. We got to be more active. There's no version of your future self not thanking you.
Conscious couples, business partners, and individuals, welcome to the Conscious Couples podcast, where we share our life, love story, and relationship expertise to help you consistently cultivate the most magnificent relationship possible.
Never again will you feel hopeless and alone in your intimate relationship challenges. We'll help you have the courage to be your authentic self, communicate effectively, and constructively resolve conflict.
Having accumulated thousands of hours coaching, speaking, podcasting, and hosting live events with conscious couples all over the world, Alan and I are here to guide you in all things relationships.
Thank you again for tuning into the one place where it's not about you or me, it's about the we. Conscious couples and individuals, welcome back to another very special episode of the Conscious Couples podcast. Today we have episode 236. Are you and your partner more active or sedentary? Reminder why we're here. To improve our intimate relationship from the inside out, we have the Relationship Talks Coaching Inside Out program. Best program we've ever created, I'm just saying.
For sure.
Of all the work I do, that is the most valuable. Kevin Palmieri, my business partner, is in that now. Shout out to you, Kev. Sweetheart, we both come with a discussion question, and it's ladies first.
Yes, but before that discussion question, I'm going to sink into my intention for this episode. So this episode has all things about active or sedentary, and my intention for anyone that listens is to be inspired to be more active, because relationships that are more active, in contrast to those that are sedentary, just genuinely have a better relationship.
Okay. So we're going to have a heated debate. I'm going to argue for sedentary.
Oh.
And you're going to argue for active.
Okay.
I'm joking, sweetheart. We're not going to do that. That would be a terrible episode.
I'm just going to bring my brass knuckles out. Just kidding.
Take it easy. Whoa, she's very for an active lifestyle, so do it.
Do it.
No, so, okay, discussion question, love. We both have shared each other's question, and basically it's two sides of the same coin. So ladies first, what's your question?
So my question is, what are the top 3 downsides of a sedentary partnership? And before that question gets answered, I want us to actually define what is sedentary and what is active, based on how we see it.
Well, there's levels, but yeah. So you go first. What do you think is a sedentary versus an active partnership?
The way in which I look at it is, how much time are you spending sitting, hanging out on the couch in a seated position or laying down horizontally, not doing anything practically,
so
as opposed to active and moving your body. It's really physical based.
Nice. So I told you I would bring up Wally.
Yeah.
Production team, please share, like you did on the Next Level University podcast, the images of Wally. Because I think Wally, I believe it came out in 2008. We watched Wally together. And I believe Wally was a hell of a warning. Okay, in 2008, I was 19 years old. And Wally tried to warn us about what we're doing to the world. And the fact that, so in this scene, which will be on YouTube, these are basically blobs of human beings where everything is automated, and they're fed, and they're in these chairs that take them around. They float around. And they're the ultimate sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think that Wally did a good job at warning us of the obesity crisis we are currently experiencing. Now, we are not here to shame anyone. However, what we do want to do is encourage an active lifestyle. So sedentary is you are not exercising, you're not moving often, you're sitting most of the time, you're relaxy-taxy often, And an active partnership is basically one where you exercise a ton. So leading by example is extremely important to me. Maybe the most important thing to me, actually. And you and I have officially been exercising every single day without a single day missed for 4.5 years. I have this tracked, yeah. So strong work.
Yay.
So that was a dream of ours. And we started out with 30 minutes, then it was 35, then it was 40, then I think we went back to 35, and now it's 60. It's been 60 for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So we do 60 minutes of exercise every single day, no matter what. And we actually time it. So the other day we were at the lake and we did swimming, paddleboarding, and I went for my mile run. So
I was doing cartwheels too while you were doing that.
people might think we're serious.
I'm
so
joking.
Okay, she's joking. Wow, good for you. No, all right, we're gonna go back to the point. So what are three? Let's answer your question. What are the three indicators?
Well, the three downsides of a sedentary partnership. That's what my question was. Yeah. So I'll come up with the first one. One of them obviously is biggest in the aspect of health. I mean, I remember studying, gosh, it was probably 6 years ago at this point, about how our sedentary lifestyles, to your Wally comment, is literally like worse now than people who smoke cigarettes consistently, because we're inside all the time, not doing anything, and most importantly, not moving our bodies. And what that is doing to our brain, our mental health, our emotional health, our psychological well-being, the self-image that we have, and then bringing all those elements into our partnership. Like, there's a huge downside, not just from that standpoint, but if you map that out over the course of 5, 10, 15 years that you're with your partner, one of the things that we do know through the relationship science is that in a relationship, you pick up the habits that your partner has.
Yeah, for sure.
And so if your partner is more sedentary than you, those habits are going to rub off on you.
Have you ever seen a partnership? I always say partners get in shape together or they get out of shape together. Yeah. I've never really seen a huge, I don't think I've ever seen an exception to that, really.
I mean, I have. But if we were to peel back the curtain on that, it's like a very ridiculously eating disordered female who is with a very sedentary and obese, successful, quote unquote, business owner male.
Okay,
and
so
that's
there are
really
exceptions.
the only exception. Yeah. But again, if we were to
look
at the quality of relationship,
90% of the time couples get in shape or out of shape together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You become the people you spend the most time with, and your partner is one of the people you spend the most time with. So I think that's one of the, yours is the downsides and mine. So my question is, what are the top 3 benefits of having an active partnership? Let's just talk about the top 3 upsides and the top 3 downsides.
Yeah.
So downside, you already gave one. What are your others?
So chronic illness, because it leads to health. All of the chronic illnesses that you look at when people enter into their 50s and 60s, you can map that back to some way, shape, or form. Sedentary lifestyle and poor sleep. And if you're sedentary, you're just having this doom loop of habits that are like, no matter where there's like resistance to move, you develop this tendency of just become sluggish. Sluggishness leads to depression. So increasing rates of depression, anxiety as a result of sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, the best habit we ever created, in my opinion, and I don't say this lightly, is that exercising every day.
Me too.
I did my Miles for Mindset, which is basically just run a mile a day, every day. And I do that as part of our 60 minutes.
He says just, but then again, he's pushing himself in the mile time.
Depends.
All the time, which is awesome. I love it.
Thank you. So it depends. I mean, sometimes I push it, but for the most part, it's just I run a mile and I listen to something instructional. Lately, it's been audiobooks. Boring, but it's hard to run a mile while listening to something boring. And I actually think the books that are the most boring are the most valuable, almost always. So I'm listening to some boring books right now, but they're of tremendous value. But anyways, the point is that I'm learning, I'm feeding my brain and my body simultaneously. And the point that I want to make with that is running 1 mile a day, my brain chemistry, the runner's high, I get it every day. It's awesome. The mile is brutal sometimes, but the afterwards, you feel like $1 million. And if you're not getting that brain chemistry, it's really good for your mental health. I would say. Running a mile a day has been tremendous for my mental health and my self-esteem and my self-respect. And I don't think you can have self-respect without doing hard things by choice. And I also don't think, one of the best ways to build self-respect, I think, is exercise. I remember when I didn't exercise consistently, I was not even close to as confident, as fulfilled, as focused. I didn't sleep as well. Like, everything gets better.
Facts.
Even, I said this to Kev on the podcast, my 1 miles for mindset, I'm 150 days, 158 miles straight. I still have to run my mile tonight. Think about all the things that get better. My sleep gets better. My cardiovascular health gets better. My VO2 max gets better. My breathing gets better. My body gets better.
Think
my
about your bones,
metabolism gets better.
even.
My bones get better, except for my right knee. I'm joking. But everything gets better for the most part. I even came up in mobility because of it. Our relationship gets better.
Nutrition has had to get better out of necessity.
Exactly. So it's these keystone habits, exercise being the keystone habit, have a ripple effect in your entire life.
Right.
So, all right, let's talk about some of the other benefits.
Yeah. So it doesn't even have to be quote unquote exercise, but when we talk about activity, it is moving. So a lot of people that are listening to this likely have to some degree or another an Apple Watch or a watch that's tracking their step count, right? Like steps and movement, moving the body is an active lifestyle, is an active partnership. And I think that that's really important to note because you and I are very rigid when it comes to active and fitness and lifestyle, but I want to make sure that the conversation creates a little bit of space and room for people that are just getting started because we're very statistically abnormal in this case when it comes to like dedication.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, I know, and I can see it all over you.
Blows my mind.
And we want more people to be more active because we see what's coming down the pipeline for a lot of people. And one of the biggest things too is I know there's a big concern around fertility too when it comes to couples and relationships and
Start
whatnot.
with a walk.
It's so critical. Just start with small movements, build up.
Yeah.
It increases your fertility and the health of your sperm and the health of your eggs as you are becoming more active.
Hormone health.
Exactly.
Yeah. You also, another thing I never have shared out loud before, but your lymphatic system when running or moving, it drains better. Everything's better.
Everything is better.
This is a silly episode. Like if you don't exercise consistently, it's a mistake. And there's no working around that. I know. It's just so
But there's moments where you do need to be sedentary. And let's say, for example, someone's listening to this, they have a job, they have a desk job, they're working remotely, they're likely sitting. Okay, that's where how can you get more active while you're sitting? What is a stand-up desk in comparison to a sit-down desk? Like even just that tiny shift for someone can go a long way in terms of making your every single day a little bit more active.
Well, let's talk about, we do a wee walk often. We walked last night.
Some of my favorite things happen.
That's when we connect. I have the original, the OG conscious couple, Chris and Amy. They walk. I actually coach Chris. I coach them both, but on Chris's tracker, he has a wee walk on there, walk with Amy. Yeah. Sometimes it's with their kids, and sometimes it's solo. And I said, make sure you at least get one per week solo so you and Amy can connect without the kids, because there's certain things that they need to talk about that the kids can't be there for, like their relationship and building in the future and some non-child conversations.
Sure.
And so the we walk has helped us tremendously. Like that's one of the things too about this exercise every day thing. People think like, oh, good for you. It's like, no, you don't understand. There's so many compound effects that just makes everything better. Imagine if you and I didn't walk together.
I'm thinking about it from a nature perspective too. Like what is the downside of being sedentary? And that study that I remember stuck with me so long because I ended up going into, and I think I was in real estate at the time, so maybe it was more than 6 years ago. But that study shook me to my core because then I started to go into the research around like, what is our air quality in the real estate that we spend a lot of our indoor space in, if we're sedentary, if we're working, right? All of these offices now have air conditioning, et cetera, et cetera. And then that led me down a research rabbit hole about how important it is to be outside.
Yeah.
And we have so disconnected from how important it is to be out in nature and be out in the natural world outside of this stale boxed in air that we're breathing.
Forced bathing.
Literally, there's so much science underneath. In the downside of if you are living a sedentary life or if you have a sedentary partnership, you are literally not getting the benefits that science has embedded within the forests around you, embedded within the gardens around you, embedded with just even getting outside and getting some sunshine in your eyes. Like, active lifestyle encourages you to go out into the elements, which is critical for our species.
So you would know this. You work in mental health of all ventures, constantly researching, helping people with mental health, you name it. So exercise and getting in nature, how much does that help someone's mental health?
Exponentially. I mean, I will always prescribe someone, quote unquote, to go out in nature and do a walk outside than I ever will suggest or have a conversation about prescription.
Yeah.
Because nature does have so much already embedded within it that we are not getting. And there's a reason why people are having mental health issues the way in which they are. And it's because they are literally not out in nature doing any of what we're talking about. And so, say, for example, you have a couple that is literally saying, I am struggling with depression, I'm struggling with anxiety. Okay, well, let me look at we'll do an inventory on your daily habits. Very few of those habits actually are someone getting outside and getting engaged with the natural elements. It's a rainy day. Oh, we can't go for a walk.
Let's talk about that. So one of the reasons we've been able to be so consistent with exercise is you and I don't care. I mean, we've had nights that were 2 feet of snow, maybe a foot and a half, a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And we have to trudge our asses out there. and we've had storms that we
So
love to go
memorable.
running in.
Yeah.
I can't even. The weather, I say this to my team, the weather doesn't dictate my actions.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a freaking tornado, I'm not going to go out in it. But other than that, go outside. You and I were paddleboarding and there was some lightning. We were like, all right, we should probably go in.
Yeah, we should probably go in.
But at the end of the day, there's very few circumstances. Like, if I could suggest anything, it would be don't allow external circumstances to dictate whether or not you exercise.
Yeah.
Whether or not, oh, the gym's closed. I don't care. Go do hill sprints out back. Go do chin-ups or push-ups or pull-ups. I'm not going to miss
walk
no
around
matter
the
what.
grocery store.
There's no excuse.
Do laps.
There's no excuse. I can't even with this conversation. There's no excuse not to exercise daily. There's a book called The Story of the Human Body by Daniel Lieberman, and he talks about how we've basically architected our own demise by not using our bodies for what they were built for. Our bodies have adapted and evolved to be able to handle physical activity every day.
Yeah.
We were hunter-gatherers. And now we're just hunter-sitters.
We're just
blobbers. Blobbers,
just
yeah.
absolutely blobbing up the whole day.
For anyone out there watching or listening, and by the way, if you have a partner, I have one person I'm coaching, she's getting her fitness life together.
It's great.
Right? But her partner isn't. And it's hard for her to be fit and active when they're both so sedentary. And she's like, well, I can't do that. And he needs to eat this and all this stuff. You got to sit down with your partner and say, like, let's audit the way we eat. Let's audit when we eat and how much. Let's audit when we exercise. And if you don't want to exercise, like, we need to have a conversation. It's a core value in conflict. If you didn't exercise, I would have a really hard time being in a relationship with you.
Same.
And
That's such a weird thing to even think about.
I know, but that's the reality. Have you ever been with someone who didn't exercise?
I don't think so.
I was with someone
was always really important
who
to me.
exercised occasionally, but it was like kind of a hobby more than anything, and it was my
Fair.
whole world. And I struggled so much. I told you she would go to the bar after, and I would be like, you're going to undo everything you just did in the gym. Like, and I wouldn't go because I don't drink. But at the end of the day, I think that all of you out there watching or listening, you're here to get better, otherwise you'd leave. So sit down with your partner and say, hey, let's get our S together. Like, this is not okay. We got to be more active. There's no version of your future self not thanking you.
I am right there with you in the audit aspect. I think auditing what is currently getting in the way right now. And I just want you to think about a 24-hour period. I don't want you thinking about a month. I don't want you thinking about a year. I don't want you thinking about a week. It's important to scale it down
I want
to
you
a
thinking about the next 2
24-hour
decades.
quote-unquote day. In other words, 16 hours of awake time or whatever it is, right? What is getting in the way? And I want you to list all the reasons that are getting in the way of you becoming a little bit more active. I'm not saying 2 hours in the gym with what Alan and I do. I'm saying just a little bit more active. So if your current baseline right now is you and your partner don't go for a walk every single day. Okay, that's your baseline. A little bit more might be going outside and walking to the end of your driveway. I know it sounds obnoxious and ridiculous, but it's a little bit. What is going to prevent you from actually doing that consistently every single day? Something that small.
I have a client who has allowed herself to become extremely obese, and she's humble enough to start with 5 minutes. And then she's going to move to 10, and then 15, and then 20, and we have her on a regimen, and we have her eating only 3 meals a day. She used to do 5, and she used to not walk. And she's like, well, it hurts to walk. I said, I know.
Of course it
because
will.
you've let it go too far.
Yeah.
So start with 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then when it doesn't hurt anymore at 5, go to 10. And then it's supposed to hurt a little.
Yeah, your body's going to
Your body needs to adapt. The body is so adaptive. So when I used to started the Miles for Mindset, an 8-minute mile back then would be really painful. Now I can do 8 minutes without even trying. My body adapted. So start with 5 minutes. There's no excuse if you're an adult to not do 5 minutes. I had a client with no arms and no legs, and she still swam. She exercised every day.
Amazing.
I don't know if it was every day, but consistently. If she can do it, then you can too.
Right.
And
So put the excuses on a paper.
Yeah.
Put the roadblocks or what's getting in the way on a piece of paper.
And then burn that shit.
And then after you do that, on the right-hand side of that piece of paper, I want you to also think about a strategy to overcome that barrier.
Nice.
What is a strategy to overcome when the kids are coming home from school and you're just tired? What is a strategy?
okay,
And that's it.
that's it. We're good.
That's it.
Sedentary versus some other. Oh, there's the time. We're good. Yeah. So whatever you're doing, drop what you're doing and go exercise now. So before we get out of here, we have Relationship Talks virtual event. And here's the other piece. I have a Next Level Fitness accountability group. We have 66 people in there rocking and rolling. It's free. I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes, okay? Next Level Fitness Accountability. I'm in there every single day. Kevin Palmieri is in there every single day. We promised our listeners we would not miss a single day in all of 2026. I haven't missed yet, and I don't intend on it. Emilia's in there. Your co-host, Bianca, is in there, my client. So get around a fit community. Now, here's the caveat.
Active community.
Active community. Here's the caveat. You are going to feel bad about yourself a little bit at first. Initially.
But that's normal.
And the reason
With
why is because you're going to see people in there crushing it. That's okay, because there's no bullies allowed. We're in there to support you and, yes, to give you that subtle kick in the ass that you need. And I'm very intense on this. I was a fitness coach, fitness model, fitness competitor 11 years ago. There is no excuse not to exercise consistently. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say.
So if you want to go be a little bit more active today, just do like a star jump or something very small and simple. And that is your 1% improvement, because you probably weren't doing star jumps before that.
What's the star jump?
It's like when you like jump up and clap your hands. It's like a jumping jack, but you like clap your hands above. It makes you feel like a star. A superstar.
Okay, nice. So, RT event.
To that end, we have an RT event. If you're listening to this episode when it's coming out on Monday, this coming Wednesday, we have a Relationship Talks event that is all about decluttering your relationship and eliminating overwhelm. So we are taking all the noise that a lot of couples end up just getting ridiculously overwhelmed in their relationship. And we're going to, like a garden, pluck out the weeds, because let's be real, we need to focus in on how you guys are growing together and not have you guys growing apart.
Remember when you and your partner first got together? There was no nonsense. It was only the essentials.
Yeah, you were just focused on each other.
Just each other. There was no
Things
nonsense.
grew and pulled your focus, and all of
Now
a sudden got really cluttered in your relationship, and now you're feeling overwhelmed and slugged down.
So our last event, we had 14 people at. Get around better people. You'll have a better life. Conscious couples are the way. A lot of people look back on their life and they regret majoring in minor things. When I look back at my 20s, I am very upset with some of the ways I spent my time. That was not a good use of my time. Get the weeds out of the garden before you regret it. Okay, that's what that event's about. Appreciate you all. As always, it's not about you or me. It's about the we. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Conscious Couples podcast. We love connecting with the Conscious Couples community, so please check the show notes to connect with us and say hello on social media.
If you and your partner resonated with this episode, please leave us a 5-star review at the link in the show notes and share this with someone you love. Until next time, it's not about you or me, it's about the we. We'll talk to you next time.